Russia, a huge land of flat grasslands, frozen plains, and thick forests. For hundreds of years, powerful rulers called Tsars governed this land. These weren't just kings, they were emperors with total control. Their time in power was full of big plans, harsh actions, and some moments of greatness. The story of the Russian Tsars is a mix of war and peace, changes and crackdowns, love and betrayal. It's a story of amazing people who shaped Russia's future. Their choices had effects for many years, leaving a permanent mark on Russia. From the Vikings to the Romanovs, the line of Russian rulers is long and interesting. Each Tsar left their own mark on the country, good or bad. Their stories show us a world of power struggles, secrets, and the heavy weight of history. Join us as we look at the lives of some of Russia's most important Tsars, exploring their wins and losses, what they left behind, and how they shaped the Russia we know today. Our story begins with the Rurikids, a family of rulers who started from simple beginnings and built a huge empire. The story goes that their founder, Rurik, was a Viking warrior asked to rule the Slavic tribes. True or not, the Rurikids quickly became powerful, growing their territory through wars and agreements. One of the most important people from this time was Vladimir the Great. He had to choose a religion for his people, and he famously chose Orthodox Christianity. This choice was hugely important, connecting Russia to the Byzantine world and shaping its culture for centuries. Under the Rurikids, Moscow became a powerful city, more important than its rivals. The Tsars after Vladimir made their power stronger, creating a strong central government. They faced many problems, from fights within Russia to attacks from outside, but they kept going, becoming known as the builders of a growing empire. But the path to greatness was rocky. Fights for power inside Russia and enemies outside always threatened the Rurikids. It would take a new family of rulers and some ruthless, ambitious Tsars to really turn Russia into a world power. Few people in Russian history are as amazing and terrifying as Ivan IV, known as Ivan the Terrible. He became Tsar when he was only 3 years old. Ivan grew up surrounded by plots and violence, and that changed him forever. His time as Tsar was a mix of growth, changes, and unbelievable cruelty. Ivan was a complicated man. He was very religious and built beautiful churches, but he was also incredibly cruel. He expanded Russia eastward, conquering the Kazan and Astrakhan Khanates, but he also caused a time of terror against his own people called the Oprichnina. Many people were killed and everyone was afraid. Even though he was a tyrant, Ivan changed Russia forever. He created a strong central government, limited the power of the boyars, the old nobles, and made Russia a major power. His rule, though very harsh, helped create the modern Russian state. Ivan the Terrible is still talked about today, and historians still debate his actions. He was a man of his time, a cruel ruler in a cruel age. But he was also a leader with big ideas, a man who changed Russia forever, and whose actions are still felt today. After the scary rule of Ivan the Terrible and the unstable time afterward called the Time of Troubles, Russia was at a turning point. Peter the Great, a Tsar with huge ambition and energy, would force Russia into the modern world, even if it was difficult. Peter was fascinated by Western Europe. He traveled a lot, learning about its culture, technology, and armies. He wanted to modernize Russia, so he made big changes, creating a new army, building a navy, and starting new industries. One of Peter's biggest achievements was building St. Petersburg, a new capital city on the coast. This, window to the west, showed Peter's desire to make Russia a major European power. Peter's changes were hard on the common people, who suffered because of his big plans. But Peter the Great made Russia an important power in Europe, setting the stage for it to become an empire. The 1700s saw the rule of another important person in Russian history, Catherine the Great. Born a German princess, Catherine took power by force. She was a clever politician and a tough ruler. Her time as empress was full of territorial gains, cultural growth, and a complicated personality that still interests people. Catherine liked the ideas of the Enlightenment, exchanging letters with famous thinkers like Voltaire and Diderot. She made some changes to improve Russia's laws and government. But she also harshly stopped anyone who disagreed with her, afraid that challenges to her power would weaken the empire. Under Catherine, Russia grew, taking over Crimea and lands in the Caucasus. She also helped divide Poland, a sad event that erased Poland from the map for over 100 years. Catherine's legacy is complicated. She supported art and science, and Russian culture flourished under her. But she was also an absolute ruler who was very strict, strengthening serfdom and expanding the empire through brutal wars. Like many powerful rulers, she was full of contradictions, a smart and ambitious woman who changed Russia forever.